At exactly 3:17 every morning, a figure appears outside a window. It doesn't move, and it doesn't make a sound. But by the time the sun rises, the person on the other side of the glass is gone. On October 14, 2004, 23-year-old Evan Miller disappeared from his home in suburban Ohio. Police records show he was last seen by his family at midnight, but by 4 a.m. his bedroom was empty. There was no broken glass, no picked locks, and no evidence of a struggle. Every exit was bolted from the inside, leaving investigators with a crime scene that was physically impossible to enter or leave. On the far wall of the empty bedroom, investigators found a crude drawing in black marker. It depicted a featureless entity with unnaturally long limbs, and beneath it the same sentence written over and over: "He only moves when you look away." Locked doors and security systems were irrelevant here. Survival depended entirely on understanding the specific behaviors that govern how this entity moves. Evan's disappearance led to the discovery of 37 other cases sharing the same signature. These sightings stretched back to 1978, appearing in family photo albums, school yearbooks, and hospital security footage. Plotted chronologically, the 37 sightings reveal a steady progression. Over 40 years, the figure's distance to the lens constantly decreases. It is getting closer. Cross-referencing these cases, investigators identified 4 specific preceding actions, each rule a common denominator in failed survival attempts. These 4 rules became the only known protocol for surviving 3:17 a.m. Unfortunately for Evan Miller, his final recordings show him unknowingly violating each one in sequence. Evan's first mistake was Rule 4: do not draw it. The historical records suggest that visualizing the entity creates a psychological focus that allows it to anchor itself to a specific location. At 3:16 a.m., Evan heard a tapping on his window. He checked the backyard, saw it was empty, and turned his back to the window to return to his desk. This diagram shows the danger of breaking Rule 2: never turn your back on a window. The entity advances by exploiting the physical blind spot created the moment an observer looks away. Because Evan turned away, the figure was able to manifest directly against the glass. It simply occupied the space he was no longer watching. These first 2 violations changed the entity's status. It was no longer a distant observer in the yard, but an active presence inches away from the interior of the house. Evan began searching for the entity through his security monitors, zooming in and rewinding the footage to track its movement. This violated Rule 3: if it disappears, do not search for it. Using a screen to find the entity provides it with a digital bridge, allowing it to bypass the physical boundaries of the home. In Evan's final tape, we see the result. The bedroom curtains slide open on their own, providing the figure with a direct line of entry. Evan was now caught in a dilemma involving Rule 1: do not look at it for more than 5 seconds. He couldn't turn his back to the window, but staring directly at the figure would prove equally fatal. Evan stared at the window for nearly a minute before blinking. When he opened his eyes, the window was empty, but a distorted, elongated shadow was now cast on the wall directly behind him. By maintaining visual contact past the 5-second limit, Evan became the figure's primary focus. At that point, the status of the victim shifts from being watched to being taken. When the police investigation concluded, they focused on a single frame from the security footage, paused at 03:1714. In the frame, the figure is standing directly behind Evan, but it isn't looking at him. Its head is tilted upward, staring directly into the lens of the security camera. This footage reveals that the entity's position is physically locked by the act of being watched. Human attention acts as a literal anchor, paralyzing the figure in place. The figure only gains the ability to move during the gaps in our attention. The moment you blink, or the camera glitches, it teleports into the space you just vacated. Understanding these rules makes you an observer, and being an observer makes you a target. If you see it at 3:17 a.m.,